You know, it's funny, I still enjoy doing what I'm doing. It's not like I don't like it. I really like it. I mean, I don't know that there's anything out there that I like better than fishing. I enjoy to deer hunt in the wintertime, but I don't know that I enjoy it as much as I do to fish. I just still feels the same to me every time I get a bite. You know what I mean? Like it's exciting. I still like it. I like to catch them. I mean, if I didn't, we would have already left. I'm like, too much of this shit and I'm ready to go. So basically this could be the intro up to a great show, or it could be the intro to no show, depending on how the fishing goes this morning. It's early summer, water temperature's here already 88 to 90 degrees, so I guess you would say in some places that is summer, but here it is the very beginning of summer. Summer will last for about 6 months in this part of the country. It's a beautiful morning, Cypress Tree Lake, we're just gonna break it down. These fish are through spawning, there's no shad spawn, that's gone. It's summertime. There he is. Golly. We're just gonna break it down. Hot water, dirty, big plug, spinnerbait, popping perch. We're just kind of gonna go through the gamut of things that typically work in hot weather in zone 1.
This is a different pro team journal.
Now I'm done.
Got it. Big one, real big one.
So what are we going to talk about? The most important part of the day.
What was that?
My coffee cup. Man, it's beautiful. I want to start in the right place because I just think it's very important that, you know, this time of the year typically, you know, early morning is typically the best, just because it's cooler. Water temperature's cooler. It was cool all night last night. We're gonna have a little breeze today later in the day, but the deal is these fish live shallow year round. The deepest water in this lake is like 6 feet, you know, so they're somewhere from 1 foot to 6 foot. The only cover in the deepest water are duck blinds. We'll probably hit that before the day's over. Probably start off fishing cypress trees and stumps and laydowns. The lake has a lot of that. It has one deep hole up on the north end. I was gonna start up there, but I think I'd be better off to start down here this morning and then go up there later in the morning. So a very serene morning. There he is. Well, not a sizable bass, but the first bite of the morning. And very aggressive. And he felt toasty. The water's pretty warm because when I put my hands on him, I'm like, he felt toasty. Super shallow, like literally 10 inches. It's just, I just feel like as it gets summertime in this part of the country, like couple things have to happen. Like early mornings are by far the best, or you need some tide movement or some current to make them bite. So this lake is landlocked that we're fishing on, so there's not going to be any current. So I always feel like the first thing in the mornings are, once the water gets warmer, are the best. Fish always seem to be a little more active, Oh, another thing that's kind of funny about this part of the country is that the hotter it gets, the shallower these fish will go because of water quality. Like early summer, like it is now, I have a tendency to find them deeper being relative, shallow lake, and when it gets really, really warm, July, August, I mean, they literally will stay in the shade in water that deep because that's where the most oxygen is. I got handcuffed in there and all that target. Whoa. Watch out for this nice size spider. I was like, oh, not a big spider fan. So this spinnerbait that I have hung in this tree is a 3/8 ounce tour grade spinnerbait. Coleslaw in flavor, because I like a little coleslaw with my fish. It started out as a grind, and sometimes, when we film these shows, it is a grind. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on me. It's much like fishing a tournament, because you got all these people standing there watching, videoing what we're doing. You need to make it happen. There's a reason you're in front of that camera, so you need to make it. So I do feel a little pressure when we do these shows, and probably this one, what's cool about it is it's always a win. It's that deal when you figure out how to catch them. To me, it's made my day. So it is about catching the fish, but the main thing it's about figuring out what triggers the fish, making those adjustments, and it going from looking like the lake was terrible to looking like the lake was great, just from me making the right adjustment. Makes you feel good. And the deal is, that's what I do for a living, so I'm fixing to leave here and go to a tournament, and I'm gonna have to make those adjustments or my kids aren't gonna get fed. I mean, these are small fish, but they're really not on anything. Like, they're not relating to, they're around the cover, but they're not really relating to it. Got me right. Same deal. I mean, these fish are on nothing. They're getting me out there like they took the rod out of my hand right at the boat. But they're not on, I mean, I guess there's not really a lot of stuff out here that you don't see. So it's like maybe they're just on bait, swimming around. Pretty healthy fish, Short string. It's like they broke my arm. Look. I want to stretch one arm out longer than the other one. I'm like, wow. It's combat fishing here. But I got 20-pound tests, so. Because like I said, there's an outside chance on this particular body of water of catching a great big one. A lot of times on these types of places, natural lakes in general, it's bluegill spawn, maybe the goggle eye are spawning, mayflies are hatching. It's just, there's something I got to figure out. Like, what's the deal? What are they eating? I don't really worry about it being hot, because the hotter it is, the higher their metabolism is, and the more they have to eat to stay alive. So it's not like, it just seems like when it's hot like that, you have to be a little more precise on your choices. And this lake gets fished a lot. It doesn't probably this time of the year, but for the last 3 months, it's been getting worked on. So, I mean, it's not like we're fishing for fish that don't get to see a bait. But as you can tell, it's a target-rich environment. So surely there are some out there that they can't fish everywhere. Oh, they live under there. So that fish bit so light that I was thinking it was a googly eye. But that's what they look like. I know you've heard me say this before, but that's a zone 1 bass. This is a special creature. This is like no other creature. This is probably the most sought after beast in the South.
Hi, Kevin Van Dam here, and I can tell you a whole lot has changed in my life over the last year. I went from a full-time tournament angler after 33 years of being on the road to a full-time television host. But the one thing that hasn't changed is my passion for cooking outdoors. I absolutely love it. Whether I'm on the road, filming a show, or I'm here in my backyard, and you can see I've got a lot of Weber grills here to cook from. They make it easy. They've got an option for anything that I want to do, from a flat top to a pellet grill to a charcoal grill, electric grills, tailgating, anything that I want, big, small, a large scale. If I want to do a big event, I've got an option, and they just really do it right. To find the right Weber grill for your needs, go to Weber.com.
Just basically swung out there to a lake that we know nothing about, haven't been on it in a year, and breaking it down. And the deal is, you know, that you don't feel that pressure if you're not filming. Yeah, you just go fishing. But what we're doing is, you know, we're putting together a TV show, and one that people want to watch, want to sit down. We want to make a TV show that makes people want to get off the couch and go fishing. So there is pressure, and it can be a grind. And I hear this mud boat coming back again, and we've dealt with that the last couple days. Air boats, mud boats, jack boats, we got them all here in Louisiana. If you've noticed, nothing I've needed has been on the top. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I have to get, and I'm not big on putting my tackle in the back, you know, in the back box. I do, but with that being said, there's a big bag of cutter worms back there, a big bag of anacondas. But I definitely, when it goes back there, is something I don't plan on using much. Should I have one of these ready to go? Right there. They and Deli were not eating that chartreuse and black 2.5, or they would be. Big bass. That's the deal. We just figured it out, Sarita. They're on nothing, but they on the right bait. Wow. Wow. How about that? One little bait change is all it took. See, that's the way we like for them to eat it. Wow. Golly, it's so simple, isn't it? It's just fishing. Just fishing. God, I'm gonna need the pliers. Yep. Long summertime post-spawn fish. All about adjustments. I have a tendency as a bass fisherman to want to run that crankbait right down the cover every time, because I know from past experience, typically that's how you get most of your bites. But today was totally different in that those fish were relating to shade around the cover. They weren't on the cover. So I like to short cast around that stuff. I'm a target fisherman. I basically had to make myself kind of back out a little bit, make longer casts, still take the area apart. You still had to be real efficient in different angles hitting the bait, but I was not deflecting that bait off of anything, you know, when those fish would get it. There he is, biggin. I mean, big biggin, big biggin. Come here, baby, don't you come off. Come on, get up here. Get up here. Get up here. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. A little 1.5 action. Isn't that funny? That's the great thing about lures at Strike King. They make everybody look like a hero. Just tie on the right one. That's the whole key. And just throw it out there and it catches bass. Good bass. Swamp bass. Oh, I mean, how about that? Now that's the first one. That's the second time I had thrown in there, and I mean crushed it. You know, I was just saying that this area seemed right. So let me tell you something. If you noticed what I'm doing, like I'm repetitive casting, it's all about the angles around the trees. So you need a reel that throws real accurate. That's the, and I can't explain to you the difference in this hyper mag, but Andy Montgomery, I'll key over to Andy Montgomery because he can tell you exactly about the inside of it. But this reel is so smooth and free spool so easy, it allows me to make those pinpoint casts, and that is so important or you'll just stay hung all the time and you know, fishing this stuff. But the reason I said that about Andy Montgomery, I was at a function with him the other day, and he explained to everybody the reason this reel free spools so well. And like there's just no, I can turn everything off and there's no drag on the spool. And when you're, you know, a 1.5 on 20-pound test is not a heavy bait. Like that's what I'm doing and putting it in these places. You need a reel that just has no drag on it. And what I mean by that, it's no drag on the lure. Super light, you know, I mean, like I've made a zillion casts and I'm not tired yet. Well, you know, basically another cool thing about this show was I got to put my hands on the Hyper Mag a couple weeks ago, but I got to put it to the test. They talk about a muskie being a fish of 10,000 casts. When I'm short casting like that, I feel like a largemouth bass is a fish of 10,000 casts. I casting a lot, you know, really having to make accurate casts around all that cover. I was really blown away by the performance of the Hyper Mag. Golly. Golly, he ain't got but one hook in it. Oh. Just like all the rest of them, just out there on nothing. Nothing. So I did make a little bait change because this end of the lake was a little bit dirtier, but still. KVD 1.5. I'm getting the feeling that these fish just like anything that says KVD on it. They're big fans. Uncle Kevin. That's what they refer to him as, Uncle Kevin. Another nice one. I don't know why. There he is. There he is. There he is. The elusive Zone 1 bass. So the one thing you have to deal with in this part of the country is heat. We have it every year. We live in a tropical climate, and most of Zone 1 is that way. So if you'll just be a little crafty, Don't be afraid to change lures. You'll catch a few more bass in Zone 1 this summer when it's 100 degrees. Join us here next time on the Pro Team Journal. Always let the fish tell you what you need to be doing. Because as bass fishermen, we always think we have it figured out. You know, I'm thinking when we're going there, I'm going to be casting a big worm around, a big cutter worm, maybe a Magnum rage bug, cranking a 2.5, and then I end up throwing a small plug, which I learned a lot. Even me, as much as I fish, you just let the fish tell you what they want. They're always giving you clues. The spinnerbait keyed me in on that they weren't on cover. The 2.5 keyed me on that they didn't want the big bait. And that's just the things, you know, when you're getting bit and they're not eating the bait or they're pushing it around, something's not right. It can be color, it could be speed, it can be size of the lure, action of the lure. But it's the cool thing about fishing, you learn every day and the fish are always telling you. So the main thing I feel like that I learned in Zone 1, be versatile. Don't be hard-headed. Let the fish tell you what you need to do. Oh yeah, we knew he was coming. Let's hope he runs to the next parish.